Hello and welcome everyone to the AutoCAD MEP Conduit Drawing Series. The goal of this series is to get you drawing conduit with AutoCAD MEP in the shortest amount of time possible. Now, there are some things we need to do before we can start drawing conduit. Alright, so if you look up here in the top left, when you first open it up, let's talk about what you need first, I guess. Very important, you need AutoCAD MEP, some version of AutoCAD MEP, not AutoCAD, but AutoCAD MEP. That's really important, okay? If you don't have AutoCAD MEP and you want to draw conduit, it's not going to happen. So you need AutoCAD MEP. Don't waste your time with anything else. All right, let's get back to where I was going with this. All right, if you notice up here, everything is ductwork, duct fitting, space, pipe fitting. That's no good. All right, so come on down here to the lower left side, and come down here to the lower right side, and you will see this gear-looking icon thing. So click on that twice or a couple times to get it open up. You notice by default is HVAC. I don't care about HVAC. I'm not HVAC. Anyway, let's click on electrical because that's what we are. Electrical. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, look at this. All right, so this first window is a properties window. It says right here, properties, right? Let's open this guy up, make him a little bit bigger because he's pretty important. And we're going to shove him over here in the corner for now. Now, this other window is a kind of a neat window. It's got all kinds of cool looking things in here. I mean, look at all this stuff, you know, cable tray, wire, annotation. But you know what? In all the years I've drawn conduit, I've never used one thing from this. So let's exit out. Yeah, never used anything from it. Okay, now that we've changed it to electrical, come up here and look at this. We now have conduit fitting. Now, when they say conduit fitting, they're talking about 90s, 45s, and things like that. Cable tray fitting, wire, device, panels, and equipment. Now, these are all neat, but you're only probably going to use this conduit function. Cable tray, I don't know why anyone would use this cable tray because when you do the cable tray, it's got to be pretty accurate. Usually we would model the pieces of cable tray from the manufacturer and then put them together. Okay, so just be kind of careful if you're going to use that. If it's a generic thing, then yeah, go for it. Okay, well, there's a couple of other customizations I like to do. Now, down here, you're going to get either you're going to see icons or you're going to see text. In versions after 2013, which is the one I'm using here, it's usually just the icons and you cannot change it. But for mine, I can change it. I kind of like to know what these things are. Okay, so that's one thing you're either going to or not going to be able to change it. All right, so that's one thing. You don't have to do that. I'm going to do a couple of customizations right here before I get going. You don't have to do these. Okay, so first thing is, but if you watch, you will learn to where some of the functions are hidden. What we want to do is come down to this command line down here and type in OP for options. All right, hit enter. And the options window will pop up. Okay, and what we're going to do is go to display, which is already highlighted. Go to colors. Now, the background is this grayish black. I just want black, straight black. Command line, which is this area down here, which is very important. I want it yellow because I will be talking about it a lot. Okay. And okay. All right, there we go. Now, this grid, I don't like that. Hit F7 and the grid is gone. Okay? All right. That's it. That's it for the setup, guys. Now, are you ready for the big moment? If your screen is looking like this, everybody come on up here, click on the word conduit. All right, just click it, and then you got to make sure this is on. Conduit add. Okay, down here in the command line, conduit add. If you see all that, you can start drawing. It says start point. Well, that's what we're looking for. All this other stuff is for later on. Okay, so find the start point. Just click anywhere on the screen. Uh-oh, what's going on here? No, I don't want that. So hit F8. See, F8 locks it, right? So you can only go out 90 degrees, right? 90 degrees. All right, now type in 5 feet, enter. All right, hit escape 3 times, top left button on your keyboard. Roll your mouse, zoom in. Yeah, look at that. All right, everybody, click on this thing. All right, let's go over here and to the properties window. Click on that. Look at that. What does that say? That says Conduit. Congratulations, you just drew your first piece of Conduit in AutoCAD MEP. Woohoo, yeah! Give yourself a pat on the back. Yeah, kind of fun, huh? All right. Yeah, so you did draw your first piece of Conduit. All right. All right, well, yeah, it just looks like two lines, though, right? Everybody hit escape 3 times, right? Top left button on your keyboard. 1, 2, 3. All right. Now, it just looks like actually it's like a big rectangle, right? All right. So, come up here, find this word view, right here, and then come up to the very top in the views. Click on that down button, and let's go to Southwest Isometric. Right? Click on that. Boom. Now, everybody kind of zoom in on this area. That's no longer 2 lines. That is a 3D representation of a piece of conduit. All right. If you look down here, now this is the UCS, which stands for Universal Coordinate System, right? This is X, this is Y, and now we have a Z component. Everything, well, that one point is probably 0, 0, 0, but everything else has a bunch of coordinates that go with it that makes up this 3D piece of pipe. Look at that, huh? All right, everybody, let's have some fun. All right, get your drawing to about that size. Hold down your shift key, hold down the center round wheel of your mouse, and just move your mouse gently around. And now if you want to look at it, just let go of both buttons and then press them again to move it around. And you can just have a look at your piece of conduit. You can even zoom in on it and move it around. All right, now, if you have a crappy graphics card, it's going to freeze your computer, okay? So be careful when you do this, all right? All right, so we're all done with fun and games. Everybody, please come back up here and go to the top view, select top, all right, and then zoom it back out. All right, we're going to do one more exercise before we wrap it up, all right? You guys are doing great. If you got this far, man, you're doing really good. All right, click on this piece of pipe. Let's look at it. Over here, it tells me... well, let's look at some of the things, all right? We've gotten the drawing out of the way. Description. You can put in a description. We're not doing that, okay? Layer, all right? There's all kinds of things we can do with layer. Just make sure it stays standard. Conduit standard, all right? No, we're not doing anything with that. Leave that alone. System, standard. But you know what? There's all kinds of stuff we can put in there, but leave it standard for the tutorial, okay? Routing preferences, oh yeah, we got lots of things. But for now, leave it standard. Don't mess with it. Because if you mess up any of these, they're not going to connect. Yeah. So if you have this and you drew it and you changed it or you changed any one of these, the other pipe will not connect. So don't do it. All right. Nominal size. Click on that. Well, these are the sizes that you get. All right. And they're standard trade sizes. And in this version, 2013 and going forward, Autodesk did fix all the dimensions. And they're correct. Cut length, 5 feet, all right? Elevation, UCS 0. That means this piece of pipe is sitting at 0, but it refers to the center of the conduit. All right, so we see the elevation here is UCS 0. We know that that's the center of the conduit, all right? Now, if it's not 0, you can always highlight that, and we can put in something like 12. And now it's 12 inches off the floor, okay? But for this tutorial, it will be 0. And you're going to hear me telling you to check it for 0. If it's not 0, just come over here, highlight it, type 0 in, and you're good to go. The rest of this stuff we'll deal with later, all right? So, all right. So everybody, if you haven't, click on this piece of pipe, highlight it, and you'll notice it says 5 feet, right? Well, let's get out our pipe stretcher. Click on that arrow. It did say lengthen, right? So you pull it out, type in 2 feet. On your keyboard, hit enter. What happened? I guess I didn't type in 2 feet. Let me do that. 2 feet, enter. Okay, so now you notice the piece of pipe here is now 7 feet, right? See that? 7 feet. All right, now we could do the same. We could shrink the pipe. Grab the arrow. It says lengthen, but you can grab the arrow and move it backwards. Type in 2 feet. Okay, now it's back to 5 feet, right? You see that right here? I'm sorry, right there, 5 feet, right? All right, yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. Everybody hit escape 3 times, top left of your button on your keyboard 3 times, all right? That's going to be a habit. Get in the habit of doing that. Every time you finish something, hit that 3 times, because if you don't and you got some other command going on, you're going to mess up all kinds of stuff. All right. All right, before we wrap it up, everybody, we're going to learn how to save this drawing. So come on up to the A. There's a little arrow there. Click on it. Come on down. Let's see, save as. Drawing. Click. Now, create a Conduit folder somewhere. So, I've got it here, right? Somewhere on your hard drive, create a folder called Conduit, and then open that up, and we're going to type in Conduit, all right, 001 intro, intro, space, straight. Okay, so that basically what I'm saying is we did Conduit, this is drawing 1, it's an introduction, and we drew a straight piece of conduit, right? So now, there's other things here, file types. Go with whatever your default is. So some of you may have 20, I don't know, 2020, 20 whatever. You could save it to earlier versions. So like, I'm in 2013, the latest is 2013. So if you're using something else, whatever your default is, just save it to that because you are drawing it. Other issues will arise when you're working with other people that are using different versions. But if you're making the drawing and it's in your computer, just go with whatever the default setting is when you go to save, right? All right, so we just hit save. Boom, we are done for the day. All right, man, we're really doing good today. All right. I will see you guys on the next video, and come back. The next video is going to be 90s. Oh, it's going to be fun. All right, I'll catch you guys on the next one.